Welcome to CognitionChunks. This information is for entertainment only. I am not trained in philosophy. Is this useful? Is this nonsense? Join me as I attempt to learn from GPT. Here is Top 50 Historical Philosophical Events. Event 1. The story of Thales of Miletus predicting a solar eclipse, 585 BCE. The story of Thales of Miletus predicting a solar eclipse in 585 BCE is a seminal event in the history of science and philosophy. Thales, considered by many as the first philosopher in the Greek tradition, is also reputed to be one of the first individuals to predict a natural event through scientific reasoning. The story of Thales predicting a solar eclipse is not just a tale of astronomical precision. It is a narrative that intertwines the fates of empires, the evolution of scientific thought, and the profound impact of a singular moment of darkness on the annals of history. Thales was a pre-Socratic philosopher, mathematician, and astronomer from Miletus, an ancient Greek city in Asia Minor. Living between about 624 to 548 BCE, Thales is best known for his assertion that water is the principle of all things, a philosophical stance indicating that water is the fundamental substance underlying the physical world. Beyond his philosophical contributions, Thales is renowned for his achievements in mathematics and astronomy, embodying the versatile scholar archetype of his time. The Sage of Miletus. In the bustling city of Miletus, a crucible of commerce and culture in ancient Ionia, Thales emerged as a polymath, whose interests spanned philosophy, mathematics, and astronomy. Renowned for his wisdom, he was one of the fabled 7 sages of Greece, a testament to his standing in the realm of intellect and reason. Unlike his contemporaries, Thales sought explanations for natural phenomena not in the whims of deities, but in the underlying principles that govern the universe. Thales was not bound by the conventional wisdom of his age. He sought the underlying principles that governed the natural world. With an insatiable curiosity, he gazed upon the heavens, not as a mystic, but as a philosopher and an observer of the celestial dance. The omens in the sky. As the story unfolds, we find ourselves amidst a tumultuous era, where the Medes and the Lydians, 2 mighty empires, clash with the fury of the gods, their battles ravaging the lands. Amidst this chaos, Thales, with his eyes set on the stars, foretold a phenomenon that would challenge the very foundations of human understanding. Armed with knowledge that spanned the boundaries of the known world, possibly influenced by the sophisticated astronomical records of the Babylonians, Thales dared to predict an event of celestial magnitude. He spoke of a day when the sun, the giver of life, would be engulfed in darkness, a day when the day would turn to night. The event, predicting the solar eclipse. The solar eclipse Thales predicted occurred on May 28, 585 BCE, during a historical battle between the Medes and the Lydians. This event is often cited as one of the first instances where a natural phenomenon was predicted through empirical observation and reasoning, devoid of mythological or supernatural explanations. With the tools of observation and the geometries of celestial bodies, Thales deduced that the sun would be obscured by the moon's shadow, casting daylight into darkness. This was no mere speculation. It was a calculated conclusion drawn from the synthesis of empirical evidence and mathematical reasoning. Scientific reasoning and prediction. While the exact methods Thales used to predict the eclipse remain a subject of scholarly debate, several theories suggest how he might have accomplished this feat. Babylonian records. It's speculated that Thales could have been influenced by or had access to Babylonian astronomical records. The Babylonians had a sophisticated system of observational astronomy and might have recorded cycles of lunar and solar eclipses. Saros cycle. Thales might have been aware of the Saros cycle, an 18-year period after which eclipses repeat. The cycle arises from the lunar month's alignment with the solar year and the lunar nodes, points in the moon's orbit where it crosses the ecliptic, the sun's path across the sky. Empirical observation. Thales could have used empirical observations and knowledge of celestial patterns. Ancient civilizations often had keen astronomical observations due to their reliance on the sky for agriculture, navigation, and timekeeping. The day the sun vanished. As the fateful day approached, tension simmered on the battlefield. Warriors poised for battle under the watchful gaze of the sun, unaware of the impending darkness. Then, at the predicted moment, the unthinkable happened. The sun began to retreat, swallowed by an advancing shadow, plunging the world into an eerie twilight. This was no ordinary day. This was the day Thales' prophecy came to fruition. The solar eclipse of May 28, 585 BCE, unfolded as he had foreseen, a spectacle of cosmic proportions that brought the warring factions to a standstill. The stage was set not merely for a clash of armies, but for an event that would etch itself into the annals of history with a significance far transcending the mere conflict of arms. This was the day of the legendary battle between the Medes and the Lydians, two formidable powers of the ancient world, whose prolonged strife had left the landscape of Asia Minor soaked in the blood of countless warriors. Yet, the climax of this epic saga would unfurl under the most extraordinary and unforeseen circumstances, culminating in a celestial event that would forever alter the course of human events and thought. Prelude to the eclipse. The Medes, hailing from the heart of what is now Iran, and the Lydians, reigning over the fertile lands of western Anatolia, had been locked in a bitter conflict for 5 long years. The reasons for the war were manifold, encompassing territorial disputes, economic rivalry, and the intricate web of alliances and enmities that characterized the geopolitics of the ancient Near East. The battlefield, set near the Halys River, now known as Kazilirmak, was to be the arena where these tensions would finally be resolved. The armies clash. As dawn broke, the air was thick with anticipation. The Lydian forces, renowned for their cavalry and wealth, stood resplendent under the command of King Aliats. Opposing them were the disciplined ranks of the Medes, led by King Cyaxares, a ruler whose military acumen was feared and respected across the known world. The stage was set for a confrontation that promised to be both fierce and decisive. The celestial omen. As the battle raged with ferocity, a most uncanny phenomenon began to unfold in the heavens. Slowly, the sun, the giver of light and life, began to diminish, as if devoured by some unseen cosmic beast. This was no ordinary event. It was a total solar eclipse, a celestial occurrence that transformed day into night, plunging the battlefield into darkness and casting a shadow of awe and terror over the combatants. The logical conclusion. The sudden darkness was interpreted by both sides as an ominous sign, a divine intervention that demanded immediate cessation of hostilities. The logical conclusion drawn from this extraordinary event was clear. The gods themselves were decreeing an end to the conflict. Faced with such a portent, the leaders of both factions were compelled to negotiate peace. The Treaty of Halys was thus forged, delineating the Halys River as the boundary between the two realms, thereby ending the war not through the might of arms, but under the auspices of a cosmic spectacle. The prediction of the eclipse by Thales is not merely an historical anecdote but a foundational moment that illustrates the transition from mythos to logos, from mythological explanations of natural phenomena to logical, empirical reasoning. This shift is at the heart of the development of science and philosophy, highlighting the human capacity to understand the cosmos through observation, reasoning, and deduction. Thank you for joining us for another Cognition Chunks. We'll continue with Event 2 once the other series reach 470 to 399 BCE. Please like and subscribe.